Today is Thursday, July 17th, 2025. Another green day for me. I'm up 32 bucks, which is about 1.4%. I knew I wasn't going to get to spend much time in the market today. I took two trades, both in the pre-market. My first trade was a really solid winner for me. It put me up like 121 bucks, which was like a 5.3% move. My second trade, I gave some of that profit back. I think I lost right around 80 bucks. Um, Still ended green on the day, so that was nice. The thing with my second move, I broke two of my rules. The first thing I did was just a really shitty entry. I got into a false breakout, thinking we were going to climb to another new high, and of course we didn't. I know better than that. I know to wait for these pullback entries, and when I do it, it just makes me so happy, and the profit speaks for itself. But I still get emotionally caught up, and the fear of missing out on the next big move causes me to get in these false breakouts, and I lose money basically every time. I mean, it happens all the time, and I'm not the only guy on the planet to do it. I know that, but I know better. I've done it enough to know better, and yet I still do it. So that was one of my first rules that I broke. The second rule I broke was, I've told myself before, if I get up, 3.5, 4+% on the day, that's when I say I'm done for the day. And I know that's kind of cheesy, capping your profits, but I know with my inexperience still so far, that if I get to a 4 or 5% green, that's such a solid day for me. The chance of me giving back some of that, if not all of it, which I've done before, um, is greater than just sitting on it. I think part of the reason I did it today, I knew I only had two trades, and after my first trade, I only had one trade, obviously. So in my brain, I told myself, well, just don't totally blow it on one trade, which I didn't. I mean, I flirted with it. I went from 5.3% to 1.4%. I mean, I gave back a majority of that profit, but still, it is what it is. I could have done better if I would have waited for a friggin' better setup. That's no one to blame but myself. I was just so emotionally hijacked after that awesome first trade, and I was just scared that I was going to miss out on something. And I was riding that high off that first trade still. And both these trades happened within just a few minutes of each other. I should have just taken a step back, caught my breath, and let the chart breathe for a minute, and waited for an appropriate pullback entry. But that's part of being a rookie. Um, Still going to make some mistakes, and life goes on. Still a green day, 4 in a row, super awesome. Grateful for that. And I'm really hoping for Friday, tomorrow, making it 5 in a row. That'll be my first fully green week that I've ever done. So I'm praying I can get some good momentum Friday morning, and stick this whole week green. That'd be really awesome. This is where I made my first two moves on Thursday morning. Ticker BSLK. This is a 15-second chart. I made my first entry, boom, right here on this big green candle. We started having a nice curling up pattern here, but it had a little bit of a topping tail on this candle, and it kind of sold off and consolidated a little lower than I thought it would. So I knew I needed to wait for a good confirmation candle. Just right off the bat, this candle formation started, and it was roaring through. I made my entry. I got in at 384. It squeezed straight through 4. Once I saw like 415, 420, I clicked buy. It ended up topping out at like 433 or 434 right here. I got out at 423. So a really nice way to start my morning. Really solid profit on the day right off the bat, and just a really clean entry, really clean exit, quick sniper profit. Hard to complain about that move at all. I did end up giving up about 2/3 of that move on my second move. I made my entry on my second move right here, boom, on this green candle. I kind of noticed we were starting to curl back up here. One thing that I didn't pay much attention to was MACD being negative at this point, and I kind of missed what's pretty obvious right here, but there's a pretty solid resistance line right around the 415 mark gathering here. Um, Once this candle started forming and broke the main body of this previous candle, I made my entry. I ended up getting filled at exactly 415. This candle popped up to like 422 or 423. I did not take that profit. I was expecting a nice curl to probably the 450 mark, maybe even a nice big squeeze to the next whole dollar, which would be 5. Didn't end up happening. All it did was sell off from that point. I held it a little longer than I should have, thinking we would probably at least hold the $4 mark and maybe bounce back up to like 420, 430. But that didn't happen either. We just kind of continued to sell off. Once we started breaking the $4 mark, I went ahead and sold. It happened pretty quickly though. I didn't get my sell filled until like 381. So I ended up giving back about 2/3 of the profit from that first really nice move I made on this second move. Um, a little bit of a false breakout there for me. So I wish I would have waited a little longer and kind of thought about what the chart was doing at that time. The volume had died off quite a bit compared to what it had been just a few minutes before. There was lots of things I could have gathered before I made that poor entry, but it's hard to complain about a green day. I got out before I totally ruined my solid first move. So all in all, still stayed green for the day. Hard to complain about that.